Priya Ragu is the title of today's Swiss success story, and Priya Ragu is also the name of the woman, of course, who we are talking about today. We've got more than an hour on our hands to talk about, and of course, with Priya Ragu, you can see already she's sitting here with us. Hello.
Hallo zusammen. Hallo.
We're also joined by her brother and producer and also songwriter Japhna Gold.
Salut, salut.
And last but not least, we are also joined by Sam Denniston. He's the owner of Verdigris Management. To my side. We'll talk about Verdigris in just a minute, but I thought since we have so much time on our hands, why don't we just take a look at your actual work? Let's take a look at the art you do, Priya. Let's take a look at your song Lockdown. There you go, a little glimpse of Priya's and Japhna's work. So let's talk about Sam real quick. Sam is the owner of Verdigris Management. Verdigris was founded in 2013. And within these 9 years of existence, they managed to get a crazy roster that they manage. For example, there's Jungle, or Hot Chip, or Kero Kero Bonito, Superorganism, and so on, and so on. And of course, Priya Ragu, that's why you're sitting here today. So let's wrap that up again with one last round of applause to welcome them. This is a Swiss success story. Let's talk about and with Priya Ragu. And talking about success, let me just drop some facts. Priya Ragu is signed with Warner Music. She's featured on FIFA 21. She's featured on the BBC Sound of 2022 shortlist. She just came back from a little US tour. She played, for example, South by Southwest Festival. She plays shows all over the world. She's got 50,000 followers on social media. She's got millions of streams on streaming services, and her debut album is lined up. Crazy times. So that sounds just amazing on both sides, on the artistic and on the management side, isn't it?
Yes, it's very, very unreal, to be honest. Especially where we come from, you know, how we started. Within a very short time, everything happened. And yeah, it's just about finding the right people to work with.
Can you even comprehend what is happening right now or in the last 2 years, or is it just too quick and too much to handle?
I think for me, it's just moving forward, not looking left and right, and just doing my work and making music. And once in a while, I'll stop and look back and be like, shit, what happened, you know? But it's a very crazy time.
So you've had your come through, I guess. What is the biggest challenge right now?
I think the biggest challenge is being on tour, doing promo, making new music at the same time. Yeah, multitasking is quite challenging. But I'm surprised that we came a long way.
But you do have some support for multitasking, for example, with Sam. Priya and Sam, you've been working together for 2 years now. How did all of this get started? How did you take notice of Priya, Sam?
So I found Priya because her music was online initially. And it was actually my wife, who also works in music. She found her and played me the tracks, and I instantly fell in love with it. And this was all during the pandemic. So I reached out to Priya and Japhna and just said what a fan I was of their music. And then we had a Zoom or a Skype or something like that, and we literally just got to know each other over the internet. So, and sort of formulated a relationship that way. And I think we signed a record deal without even meeting the label, right, as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Which is quite crazy.
One Zoom call.
One Zoom call. So I played Priya to a lawyer that I work with a lot in the UK, a law firm called Clinton's. And lawyers can be very instrumental in getting the music out to different people as well at the same time as you are in a manager. It's always kind of better to have multiple people telling record labels that an artist is you know, a significant new artist. And so I was talking to the head of A&R at that point, and then Priya's lawyer was talking to the head of the record label, the GM at that point as well, and it kind of was just one of those things where it all happened really quickly, and we did a really good, quick, sensible deal. It was a license, and it kind of made sense, and then the hard work began. I think signing a record deal, I think a lot of people think that signing a record deal is the end game, but actually it's just the start. That's, you know, you're on the starting grid at that point, and then that's when all the work really begins as well.
Was there some particular thing that you thought, okay, that's why I need her on my roster to manage?
The music, really.
My face.
But you know, in part, yeah, that's true. The look and the feel. I think we as a management company, we try and work with artists that are the whole package. You know, it's really important that the artists have a really strong visual identity as well as a musical identity, because nowadays I think that is just what's required of artists, that they have a real breadth of understanding to how to purvey themselves across many different media outlets. And Priya had it all. And when you sent me, even when we were first talking, your mixtape was like behind a passworded thing, and it had a great landing page, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Priya's got it.
Let's roll this story up from the back. Priya and Japhna, you were born into a pretty musical family, but anyway, there were quite a few things that were not allowed. I've read that MTV was not allowed at your home.
Yeah, for sure. Anything upbeat, anything English, anything spoken English, anything modern, anything pop was
Not allowed.
not allowed. Yeah.
And then you started practicing singing behind closed doors so that your parents wouldn't realize or like notice that you were
Yeah,
singing this stuff.
I guess for everybody it's quite hard to understand that, you know, that I was not allowed to watch MTV and go out and do my thing when I was a kid, you know, or a teenager. But yeah, that was really the case. And so I started to listen to music once my parents went out or went to work, press play. And at that time, I didn't even speak English. I was writing down the lyrics. There was no genius.com. So I was really like, listen to the song from Lauryn Hill or Brandy or India Ree. And I would practice by myself, and I would record and listen to it again and again. So when I told my parents that I would love to have like vocal lessons, it was just not, they were not supporting me at that time. If it was like Indian classical music, for sure, but nothing too modern. So yeah, I just did it for myself. And my brother, he was also in a band at that time, the Wolves.
Yeah. It was way early before the Wolves.
Yeah.
But you were allowed a little bit more in general, right?
Yeah,
you were in like a rap crew, jazz and stuff.
Yeah, I was also kind of doing it on the low. But the thing was, I'm like a boy, so my parents were really protective over Priya, you know, because, you know, it's like a foreign country, we're trying to build up something, and their goal is to provide enough to have Priya and me just have a good education, you know, have a good job, marry, all that stuff, you know. And yeah, I still had to fight for kind of my freedom, and I was rebellious, and I would just off my cell phone and say, oh, the battery died, couldn't come home on point, you know. So yeah.
I was in the back watching everything, and I was like, okay, this doesn't work, maybe I have to go this direction. Yeah. But then one day, I was like, I want to perform at your concert.
Yes.
The Grabenhalle in St. Gallen.
The legendary.
Yeah. And then I was...
Why y'all laughing? It is legendary. You got to start somewhere.
And so I was singing to you and to Harris at the time, Fallen by Alicia Keys, and you guys were like, okay, let's perform next Saturday. And then I wrote it down in the diary, and I left it open, and my father, he read it. And on that day, he was like, you're not going anywhere. It's not happening. And I was 16 at that time. And from that day onwards, I was just like, okay, I realized how much I wanted to do music and how important it was to me, so that from that day onwards, that I wouldn't share anything with them until I reach a certain level. So 15 years later. No, but yeah, so I just did it for myself. Yeah.
But are they supportive now? Or?
They have no choice.
Okay.
But you know, like, don't get it twisted. They were always supportive. It's just they were like scared of just going like a artistic path, you know, especially in a country like this where it's not really known, you know, and the sex, the drugs, and the rock and rolls. That's what they know of pop music, you know. So all they wanted to do is protect us from that. But now that they see what kind of music we can make, it's not always in a thong you know, it's not always about drugs. It's not always 808s and rock and roll music. They can be like really meaningful music, you know, for all generations. And now that they see that, they're fully supportive. And yeah.
Sam, on a manager's perspective, if like a young woman or a young boy gets like drilled that stuff into them, like that's a dangerous path to go, don't do it. Like how do you manage to like give them the confidence to do it anyway?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, I think that I wasn't all that aware of that side of Priya and Japhna's up.
He's only finding out now.
I mean, yeah. This is all news to me. No, so it was never something that you guys kind of flagged was going to be a problem or anything like that. And I think that the way that Priya and Japhna present themselves in their music is very whole. So, yeah. But I would always want an artist to just be doing what they felt comfortable with. You know, never doing anything where they felt like they had to do it because, you know, society was moving in a certain way or that was how you sell records. I think ultimately it's just got to be about the quality of the music over anything else, really.
And then 2017, you decided, let's work on this Priya Ragu thing with your brother together. How did this decision like grow on you?
Yeah, there was always a voice inside of me telling me that I should pursue music or do at least one song. I always had this MySpace page with 1 or 2 songs on it, and I never really invested my time in creating music because I had a full-time job, and I also thought it's not really realistic to do music in Switzerland, especially in English, R&B, you know. Of course, my friends and family, they believed in me, but then I must say also Pop Credit Zurich, they really supported me by, you know, believing in me, even though I only had like 1 or 2 songs. So a huge thank you to Niklas Rieck and Nicole Steger.
Clap for that.
Yeah, for not only supporting me, but also Japhna as a producer and an artist. So with that money, I went to New York. I set myself a goal to write 10 songs, which I did in the last month. But I was in contact with my brother via Skype and voice messages. We sent files back and forth, and that's how we created the first songs. But it was also like not only a musical journey, but also a spiritual journey. I had to find out who I was, what I wanted from life, what music I want to do. And so I quit my job and just focused on that. And then I came back, Swiss Airlines, they offered me a job again. I was very thankful for that. And then we worked on our first song, Leave High, and then you sent it to SRF, right?
Yeah, back then, Sam, I was the manager. And oh man, I hated it so much. But I was just doing part-time job at a restaurant, you know, so there is no excuse for me to say, I have so much things to do, I can't do it. So I took over that part, and I sent it to SRF 3. And I think it was one evening, and the next day I got like a huge email back from Hannah, yeah, saying it's incredible and it's gonna be song of the week and how soon can we get it? And we plan to release the song in like in a month. And I never did know, like, I don't know the business. I just know like we gotta release it and promote it, you know. So we pre-released it before it got even out.
Was that Good Love?
No, that was Leave High.
Oh, Leave High.
Yeah. So the radio played it, but it wasn't on Spotify. So yeah. So that's also a way to do it, I guess. And Yeah, man. And from that song on, we kind of knew, oh man, like people really feeling it, you know. Yeah, so basically that was the jump off.
And people say radio is dead. I guess it's not so. But then Good Love 2.0 actually happened, and that's like the big breaking point. But Good Love 2.0 like kind of says that there was a 1.0. Like, how did this song grow?
I think there's a 1.0, a 1.2, a 1.5, A, B. You know, like, you know, the thing is, like, my production style is like, I don't make like 100 beats in a month, but I work on a song like for a month, and you know, and that song could have like different versions. As soon as the a cappella is there, I'll just work on different versions. And Good Love was one of them. First version was really, really funky, like way too funky. And the chorus was like, yeah, you know. And so, like, I saved it in a folder, and then a couple of months later, what you mean couple of months? Like years? Yeah, probably. I came back, listened to it, I was like, come on, man, like, there is something to it. So I changed the whole, like I took the chords, I changed the bass, the outro, I created the outro then, and changed the hook, you know, we rewrote the lyrics, and yeah, and that was basically...
And also with Good Love 1.0, we participated at the demo tape clinic, and I didn't win. So that was a downer, but I always knew there was something special about this song and that we have to work on it.
Yeah.
And then once we had Good Love 2.0, I felt like if this song doesn't go, then I don't know what else to do, you know.
Luckily,
and you know,
happened,
previously
though.
we released like Lighthouse, which has that South Indian flip in the end. And when that song like crossed over to the UK and to BBC Asian Network, we were like, oh, wait till you hear Good Love, you know? And that was like, we really, really felt there is something special about this song. And
was it Good Love that your wife heard for the first time, Sam?
Yeah, I think so,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's the song Verdigris also.
Yeah.
Okay. From the outside perspective, I guess Good Love 2.0 was like the breakthrough moment. From the inside perspective, what was like the moment when you guys realized, okay, this is happening now? Was it that BBC moment, or what was it?
no, for me was when SRF said it was Song of the Week. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know, that was really big because you can't take these things for granted, you know. When people immediately appreciate it and show signs that they like the music, you instantly feel like, okay, there must be something, you know.
Yeah.
And
And especially I thought like it would take a few albums to get played in the radio, and it only took us one song, and that was very like mind-blowing, you know,
Yeah, it
because
was.
just to realize, okay, I guess this is the right formula, like us working together as well. We never worked together before, and so yeah, and for me, it was also Lighthouse that opened up a lot of doors, because I remember when we had that song, I felt like, well, we really have to go to Mumbai and shoot it, even though I didn't have enough money on my account. I was like, we still have to do it because it was so important to me, because the song, I felt like the song deserved the right visuals, and I would do anything for that. So I contacted a stylist, the whole crew via Instagram. Never met them before. And then went to Mumbai and we shot the video. And then VH1 India, they started to play the video over and over again. And then Rolling Stones India, they discovered it. And then it went to UK, BBC Asian Network. And then they played Lighthouse. And I got invited for an interview by Bobby Friction. And after that, we released Good Love 2.0, and Bobby Friction showed that song to Annie Mac from Radio 1. And then she played the song. And then it got to Radio 1. And then all the labels came. Yeah.
And then all the labels came, as you just said, and then you decided to, at the end, sign, as you are right now, with Warner, after being independent for quite a while. So what is the pros and cons for you of being independent?
Actually, just a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there could be pros and cons within a year.
You're right.
Well, the pros is now we have a bigger team, and I don't have to think about a lot of things, you know. I can only focus on music. Yeah, what else?
And it's like the whole machinery, the whole networking, the options and the opportunities you get. It's just way, way bigger, you know. I mean, it was us two in the beginning, and she basically did, what do you call when you kind of, you know, speak to the directors and get the cast members and the stylists? So she did that part of a label, and I did the whole emailing part, but it was insane, man. And we are so glad that we have like the Avengers now, so.
And you also got Sam.
He's one of them, yeah.
Who freed you from the duty of being the manager of Priya Ragu.
He's like Samuel, he's like Jackson, you know? Yeah.
Sam, from a manager's perspective, what is like the pro and the con of being signed with a major label? Is there pros and cons?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd say that maybe a con is there's quite a bit of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to deliver. Definitely. Constantly, you know. I think the music industry has moved to a point where artists are expected to be continually putting out music. It's harder and harder to go away and have a break, and I think that's been born out of the nature of streaming services and algorithms and how those are fed by content. So that, both from a management perspective, I feel the pressure to help Priya and Japhna deliver, but I also feel that I have to protect them from the kind of constant, where's the next track, and allow them to make it in their own time. But then the pros far outweigh the cons, otherwise we wouldn't do it. So I think they have a great international structure. Obviously, it goes without saying that there's a lot of money that can be thrown at a project to enable it to get as far as it possibly can. And also, you know, the expertise of some really top end, like the gentleman who signed Priya and Japhna signed Dua Lipa, so he knows what he's doing, and you know, help with the A&R, help with that sort of stuff. It's just, you know, kind of an extension of the management and artist's reach.
You just said it, and you also said it in an interview before. Your job as a manager is basically to protect the artist from the music industry. In what way do you mean it, for example, with Priya?
Well, I guess it's more just sort of be the buffer that absorbs a lot of the pressure. I think as your job as the manager is to, particularly what I do is that I have loads of wonderful people that work at the company with me that do various specific jobs. And my job is to kind of sit across all of that and help with the strategy and the sort of big picture kind of stuff. But a lot of my responsibility is to take when people are a bit stressed about different things within the label group and reassure them. And then a lot of the time as well is it's you know, not necessarily just with Priya but with all the artists, is to be very honest with them when they do need to deliver as well, and sort of just gently apply a bit of pressure, because otherwise ultimately if you're constantly telling an artist no you can do what you want when you want, you're doing them a disservice, because they do need to be putting out music and releasing and touring and promoting their music. So it's just about formulating a relationship with an artist, understanding what are their trigger points in terms of how do you help them be the best that they can be, And I think sometimes a record label, because they deal with so many artists, they don't necessarily have that nuance of how to deal with an artist direct when you talk to an artist so much. So yeah, it's just about being the conduit between the two.
And I must say, it was at the beginning, it was quite difficult to deliver new music, especially when he just got signed. I was like a little kid in a chocolate factory.
And you had given them a whole record.
Yeah.
So you'd given them a lot of music.
Already, yes. But still, I was also very distracted by all the things that were happening, Vogue and photo shoot and all these things. So yeah, I'm glad that you do remind me sometimes, to deliver some new music. So
yeah, and you found your stride. You got to a point, but so I think nowadays being an artist, there's so much to do. There is literally, there's just a lot of pressure on an artist's shoulders, and as management, you're there to help share that pressure and alleviate it as much as possible. And particularly when artists are so creative and like Priya and a lot of the artists we work with, they have a very clear vision of how they want to be presented, and they're involved in their music videos and everything. And it's a lot. It is a full-time job.
Yeah. How many people do work with Verdigris or for Verdigris?
7 worldwide. Yeah.
I guess there are a lot of people in the audience who are like young creators and probably wish to have a career like yours, Priya. Would you have wished to have a management earlier on, or were you like glad that you could take like the experience from doing all that stuff from like by yourself?
I'm actually glad that I've experienced to do it by ourselves, to understand what's behind, releasing a song and all that. This way I also appreciate more if I have, when I received a bigger team. And I was, I didn't even know that I needed a manager and all that. And when we created these songs, we were not thinking about labels and all that. It was just about, we can release it by ourselves. And I think the key point was to have fun in the process, and just to create nice music and nice visuals. And then suddenly they came knocking on the door, the labels. And even when Sam, he wrote a message, an email, I was like, do I really need a manager?
And Japhna was like, yes.
No. I was even like, manager, we don't even need a label, because, sorry, Sam, but, there were like labels like Interscope and like from the States. And I was like, what is going on? And, but I soon realized like having a manager that kind of works for your interest and knows you as a person, and that is the most important thing before anything in my opinion, because you can get lost with all these different people from a label and the requests and the expectation they have, so yeah.
I guess one big question that people always ask themselves before like signing with a manager or with a label is also like, how do I then guarantee to still make money, because I also have to give other people money now. How do you guys from Verdigris like make sure that people have a stable income, like the artists have like a financial security?
Well, we managers more often than not work on a commission basis, so we make money when the artist makes money, and that system is a really good way of making sure that, that managers look after the artist's interests, because ultimately managers can't survive unless their artists are making money. But the way that I've always done things with artists signing deals is to try and sign the deal at a level whereby it's a punchy enough deal that the label feel like they're invested in the artist. It gives the artist the freedom. I've always said to artists, instead of taking a huge lump sum and running off and buying a really nice car or something like that, like, hey, look, why don't we work out what you need to live each month and then just pay that as a wage? pay that as like, pay that as a monthly wage, which enables an artist to continue making and creating, and hopefully that becoming their full-time job. And another sort of key person in a process is to have a really good accountant, a really good business manager that works alongside us, that can make sure the money is properly accounted for. And it also offers the artist another layer of protection. Say they do have a dodgy manager, which, obviously, unfortunately, there are dodgy managers out there. Having an accountant in place as well is just another sort of safety net to make sure that everything's above board. But yeah, we just try and stagger out the advances so that there's always cash flow to do things. And indeed, with Priya and Japhna, we've used some of their advance to fund their live band as well. So we take that money to give the artist the freedom to be able to do whatever they want. One of the key things that I've always tried to instigate with the artists I manage is that if they want to do something and a record label says no, they still can, because they have liquidity and cash within their companies. So yeah, it's always that whatever you want to make happen, you can make happen without having to go through too many yeses, because eventually it's somewhere along the line someone at the top says no. So you just got to do it and find a way of doing it.
So how many people are involved around Priya Ragu? Like, okay, we have 3 people here right now: manager, producer, Priya yourself. How many more people are involved?
Oh, loads. I mean, there's all the people that work at the record label, so there's radio pluggers, there's all the international teams. At our company, we have someone who specifically tries to get Priya and Japhna's music on television and in adverts and in computer games and so forth, so a head of synchronization. Priya has a publisher, so there's a big worldwide network of publishers as well. Priya has a project manager called Rafe who works with me, and he kind of makes sure that everything gets done on a day-to-day level. There's a head of creative at our company who helps chat to Priya about her music videos and photo shoots and helps her realize some of those side of things. We have a head of digital in-house, so someone that helps with all the social media and content creation and that side of stuff. So, and then, yeah, within the record label, there's project managers and radio pluggers and press people. So yes, big team.
Very big team, yes, indeed. And your success came like relatively late, I guess, for other people, with 30 years. What do you think? Why did it?
34.
34? Why did it take so long?
For me, I guess it just took a while for me to make that step, just to create a song. And all it took for me to do is create one song and then see what happens, and it was a miracle, honestly. I forgot the question. What was the question?
Like, why did it take so long for it to get really started?
I don't know. I got really comfortable with my life. I was working as a technical purchaser for Swiss Airlines. I had a good income, very comfortable life. And I also didn't really believe that I could live out of music in Switzerland, especially doing R&B music, over 30, being a woman of color. All these things come together, and my insecurities got really bigger and bigger. And I must say my brother Japhna Gold was a big inspiration. Honestly,
Thank you.
because you never gave up on music.
Nope.
So your day job was secondary and music was always first.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he's never gonna give up. I was like, maybe it's not too late for me just to try, and I did.
I feel also like the stigma of age, man. It's like it's so annoying. I don't know who came up with this, but I don't think age should stop you from anything in life. If you think you're too old to do something, I mean, what does that even mean? Are you like dead after 30? You can't have fun, reach for the stars. You can't dream anymore because you have to be so realistic and and accept the fact that this world is kind of, you know, like it is what it is. There are a couple of people they can shine, and other people we are just blue collar workers and white collar workers. Why? I don't believe in that concept. I never did, you know. And I think it just needs courage, man. It's just like at least try it, you know. And don't let people in your surroundings ever like tell you otherwise, you know. Even when we didn't win the M for music, that didn't hold us like back from pursuing our musical dream, you know. It's just 3-4 people saying, "Nah, it's not good enough," you know. And we were like, I don't think we don't have the same opinion about that, you know. But man, I'm telling you, don't let age and whatever they tell you or whatever you know growing up, don't let that hold you back ever in your life, man. Please. That's all.
We talked on the phone yesterday already, and that was like a very important thing for you.
Irks me. Like I don't know if I get emotional or angry, but it is like that. Like look at us. We just did it because we love something, you know, and we did it out of passion. It's not because of fame or money or stardom or whatever. It's what we feel like we are the most happy when we do this, you know. And to be on stage and see people being happy and sharing that energy, you know, we believe in vibrations and energy, and that is like the main force of us doing that, no matter what other people say, you know.
Luckily, it worked out. Would you have had like a Reißleine, like a stopping point, where you would say, okay, we've tried this and this and this and this many times. I guess this is it. Was there like one point in the future where you were sure, okay, if that doesn't work, we're just gonna leave it?
Well, not for me. I feel like we didn't try enough. We didn't get the chance for that because it right away worked out. But for me, it was always like, I have a job. I mean, I can always go back to my Swiss airline job if this doesn't work out, you know. So I took that leap of faith.
Yeah, and I signed up early in my early 20s as a teenager, you know. And I don't think you do this because you want to make it somewhere. And of course you do it, but I don't know if you're passionate about something and then suddenly you feel like, okay, it's not worth it anymore. I guess I start gardening. You know? It's just something you have in your life and you do it whether you make money or you don't make money, you know? That's the thing. That's, yeah.
And you two decided to work together, even though, or because you're family. And we all love our families, but I guess working with each other can be a little too close sometimes, isn't it?
No. No.
I mean, yeah, I mean, when it comes to making music, we never had our differences. I mean, it always flows very nicely, you know. And I also feel like we're old enough to talk about everything. And but of course, we're brothers and sisters. Like we get annoyed at each other on tour.
We don't
and
fight a lot the way you think. Like we are really, really super cool with each other. Like we're best friends, you know. And I know the limit. I know when I talk too much, I just calm down, you know. I know when she takes a huge breath, like, I know, okay, I gotta stop talking, you know. But because I know her that much, you know. But yeah, it's no problem at all. It's like... Yeah.
But you, Japhna, are like, in a way, a bit in the shadow of your sister.
Why?
Well, because she's the face of, I mean, she's Priya Ragu, she's on the magazines, she's in the music videos, she's like the prominent face. Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel like, okay, I'm not getting enough of this cake?
Whenever you see or hear Priya, you just see a version of myself as well, you know? And it's not being, it's it's like knowing your purpose and your role on the journey, you know. And I got that. And you can let her do all the promo stuff, you know, and the photo
I would love to
shoots.
share that.
Yeah. But you know, like I'm in the band, we go on tour together, so
I might be the face, you know, of this whole thing, but in the background it's always like 50-50, you know. And even if we write songs together, it comes from the same source. It's not me or Japhna, it's the both of us.
it's Ragu.
It's the Raguwavy.
There once was a, I guess, pretty important step when you were featured on a jungle song. And jungle happens to be also on Sam's label or Sam's management company. What was your role in this? Did you connect them or did it just kind of happen?
Yeah, I think I did, right? Yeah, and you did a session with
Josh.
Yeah, with Josh.
Yeah.
Just went into the studio and it was a great vibe. And
But did they ask you or did you tell them to?
I told them. Well, I didn't tell them to. I was like, "Wouldn't this be great?" And both of you were like, "Yeah," and it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any future projects lined up yet besides releasing your debut album, of course?
Not really. You mean with other artists? No. No, but I'm also like, I'm not really keen on collaborations and stuff like that. I know a lot of people love that, but for me, it's just like, I admire a lot of artists, but if it happens organically, cool, let's work together. But it's not like, I want to work with this artist and that artist, because I'm doing my own thing, you know.
We're talking about the future already, so let's take a step back and come back to the present. At the moment, you've been touring the US, you're going to tour Europe pretty soon. What is like the most difficult thing? You already said it's like multitasking, but what are your hurdles at the moment?
While touring or?
Not just in your work process in general.
Hurdles. Just to be always in a good mood. I think that's quite challenging as well, because you work with a lot of people, you meet different people every day, and you want to leave behind a good impression, and sometimes it's a bit hard to be always like in a good energy, you know?
Especially also traveling, man. Like back in the days, I would imagine, oh my God, touring to the US, it's like nice hotels and just relaxation and then no, it's just it's traveling,
It's work.
like checking in and then carrying your stuff to the venue, just setting up, sound check, and you know, and we've been to Austin, Texas to play South by Southwest. And we had like 2 shows a day. It was brutal, man. Like, oh my God, but it was like summer. The weather is super nice, you know. But just the whole schedule of just meeting in the lobby, carrying everything, and then go to the venue, find the venue, talk to the people. Some people don't know what setup they have, and then you have to figure it out, and then play the gig, go back to the hotel, and then once you're in the hotel,
you take a nap.
Yeah, 90 minutes later, it's call time in the lobby again for the next show, you know. So I think that is very challenging.
Yeah, I mean, South by was very tough.
Yeah, but it's very, very rewarding, and you know, when people appreciate your music, it's all worth it. So yeah.
So all this crazy stuff is happening, for example, touring in the US. Do you ever fear of losing this momentum that you've had in the past 2 years?
For me, honestly, not, because I mean, everything that is happening right now, it's beyond expectation, you know. So I'm still processing that. I probably need another 2 years to process this, but I'm really, really happy with what we have.
Yeah. Especially
achieved.
Yeah,
you know?
we're talking about fear again. You know, I think where we are right now, there's no looking back. You don't have time to doubt stuff. So you're in this momentum, and when you're kind of aligned and working with all these people that back you, you know, there's no fear, no doubt, because you just do it, and you go from one spot to another spot and another spot. So if we already think about losing in the next couple of months or whatever, yeah, that.
And we're losing.
Yeah, that's.
How much of this success story is just by accident, like out of your own influence? How much was it just luck, I guess?
I mean, honestly, I don't believe in luck. Because I really believe in a higher being, you know, supporting us on this journey, and also us taking that leap of faith and actually doing the work. Because yeah, it can't be a coincidence. Everything, it just aligned so well. Everything, you know, we all came together at the same time and started this during a pandemic. Yeah.
Sam, you've had a lot of experience with all that stuff. How much do you think is just being at the right place at the right time?
I think it's just about doing the best that you can to get the music out to as many people as possible, and momentum creates momentum. And inevitably, once an artist puts himself out there on a platform, other people can experience it, and then maybe that person is a person making a new film that goes on to be a blockbuster, and they use the track in the beginning or the end credits, and then that sparks something. So I think that, yeah, it's just about making sure that the music is in the right places, and then letting the music do the talking, basically.
What do you, like all of you three, think is like the most important trait for a musician to do what they love and hopefully be successful with it?
Good songwriting.
Believe in your work.
I think being yourself and find that unique thing about you. You know, when you do it, that means don't compare yourself to others. Don't be like what's hot right now. And in order to do that, you really have to do like soul seeking, and then shut everything down and be like, look, this is who I am, this is what we do, and nothing else, you know, I think.
So what's next for everybody? What's the next steps? Where's your journey taking you all?
The Grammys. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing.
Definitely touring. Europe tour with Jungle in May. Playing a lot of festivals. And then we're going to the States in August, I think. And then deliver the album and keep moving.
What about with you, Sam, or Verdigris?
Ooh, I think just keep building the company, keep working with brilliant artists. We're really selective. We don't take on that much. So, yeah, just making sure that we have enough capacity to do a brilliant service for the artists that we look after, but then also, yeah, always be on the lookout for something as exciting as Priya.
Cool. Okay. Dear audience, you may now get your questions ready. We have somebody who's running around with a microphone. You can just raise your hand and the person will bring you the microphone. Please just say your name and your company or like your function, why you are asking this question. But so that you have like just a second to think about your question that you want to ask. I've got one last, I guess, for all of the young artists out there who might be listening. Sam, what are you looking for in a young artist to manage them?
I am looking for I mean, first and foremost, like a really brilliant ability to write songs, because ultimately the music industry is entirely based around songs. So, yeah, fantastic songs. A good, as Japhna said, like a good belief in yourself. Originality is really key. Yeah, and just something that's a little bit different, a point of difference, something that a spark that people will find interesting.
And Japhna Gold and Priya Ragu, what is something that you would like to pass on to young artists?
I mean, for me, it's just like be authentic and, as Japhna said before, do the soul searching. You know, understand who you are and what you want to create, and just take that step.
Yeah, okay, so everything is basically being said, but I think just arrive to the job, man. Like, it's like whatever job you do and whatever career or passion you want to pursue, you got to make time for it, and you got to appear to the job, you know? It's not like you being lucky and everything happens. You got to put in the work, be original, and don't do what other people do, or our formula is not your formula, you know. Find your own thing, and then just and then just do it. Basically.
Okay, you may now raise your hand if you have any question for Sam Denniston or Priya Ragu or Japhna Gold. And I see a hand already. The microphone is on the way to the lady in the yellow pullover.
Hello, I'm Janice. I'm a normal person. I'm a teacher. And I heard your song first in the radio, and then I put it on my playlist. And then I saw you in a Harrods publicity, and I thought, wow, it's incredible. And I only want to thank you. Thank you for that beautiful music. Thank you for embracing your roots. Thank you for being a role model for girls, women, and I think that's the way it has to be. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I got chills.
And if you want to come to tell your story in a school, come to Spreitenbach. Okay?
Spreitenbach.
Please.
Auf jeden Fall.
Any more questions? Oh yes, a lot of questions.
Oh my God.
So hi, my name is Juan. I'm working as a radio host. My question is, your story was quite fast, and getting signed puts you kind of in a pressure to be successful and do things that work out. And being successful also puts you in a cage. So my question is, would you like to try something artistically different if you wouldn't be as successful as you are being right now? Would you like to do something else with your music?
No, actually, I'm exactly doing what I want to do, and I exactly work with the people that I want to. And yeah, I mean, at the beginning when I signed the deal, of course I was nervous. You hear all these stories about major labels and all that, but and it also doesn't mean once you sign the contract that you become successful. You really have to put in the work, and yeah, I wouldn't do anything different. Thank you, Juan.
Hello, hi. First of all, I quote everything that the lady there said. Congrats for the work and for the panel. It was super interesting.
Thank you.
My name is Anna. I work for a music festival in Milan called Linecheck. And I wanted to know, I mean, what are your plans? I mean, what are the international markets you're looking at, you're more interested in right now? Also in terms of festivals that you were mentioning, you want to travel around and like go to festivals. What are your ideas about that? What are you looking for? What would you like to go to in terms of, places and kind of festivals that you're interested in?
I was like really interested in playing Montreux Jazz Festival, and check,
And
done
you did
that. I'm looking forward to play at the Primavera Festival. I always wanted to go and be in the audience back in the days, but there were never tickets available. So this time I'm going in as an artist, which is huge for me. So that's that, yeah.
I think we've got a few more questions. I've seen some hands. Right there.
Hans-Peter Künstler, journalist. I have a question for Sam. How long did you think about the implications of signing somebody who isn't based in the UK or America, but basically comes from the sticks? Credibility problems and all that kind of thing, was that a consideration?
Not at all. No, it doesn't matter where an artist is from now. I think that the world has become such a small place with technology and communication and social media and so forth. So it made no difference to me where Priya came from or what she looked like or anything like that. It was just about the music and about her and Japhna as people. We work with artists all over the world, and as long as they don't mind me not being awake 24 hours a day, I have no problem with working with anyone from anywhere.
Hi, I am Almajar. I'm a musician from Zurich, and I was wondering how important was the video, like to actually produce a whole music video in the whole process. I'm just thinking of nowadays with social media, you have a lot of very short, short content. So how do you value the decision on really making a whole music video?
I'm pretty old school. Like I really like visuals and music go together. So to have a song like portrayed in how do you motion picture? Yes, it's very important. You know, it kind of elevates the music and vice versa. So yeah, when it comes to short content, you gotta talk to these guys because I don't know nothing about short content.
No, for me it was also like important to create these visuals because the songs were so important to me, and it's not like I have like 50, 70 songs on stock. It was just these 10 songs, and it just had to justify the songs, you know. So that's why I went out of my way and flew to India and created these videos because I wanted to do something different. Yeah.
I think it also has a bigger impact when you hear and see something at the same time. So I believe in that concept to the fullest.
Let's do two more questions. We've got one here, and then we've got the last one over there.
Hi, my name's LaJoya. I'm a musician from Zurich. First of all, thank you for your inspirational words. I really appreciate that. And my question would be, I think you really found your own sound, which is really great. What would you recommend to musicians who haven't really found their own sound in likewise in the arrangement and everything?
I mean, well, maybe like what do you love listening to? What is like your favorite thing that you would listen to? What do those artists make? How do they do like visualize their music? How do they songwrite? Now, I'm not telling you to be like somebody else, but if you listen to their song that really, really like makes you like alive and makes you feel good, maybe that's a kind of a hint where you could take your own music and give it your own twist to it, you know.
But for me also, like when we started to create music, I had a different vision of my own music, you know, and then and you had your different vision, and then we came together and it became a different sound, a unique sound, and it all happened organically, and that's because we worked on it daily. You know,
definitely.
It will show up eventually. You just have to work on it daily.
Yeah, you have to seek and ask, kind of ask for it, you know. Yeah, if that helps.
Okay, we've got one last question over here. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sebastian.
Hi.
Thank you for this panel, really interesting. I was wondering, how do you feel about being a person who is, as we heard, a role model as a woman, as a person of color, as a not the 18-year-old young girl who is like, yeah, you are a role model in different positions. How do you feel and how do you work with that?
It's, I don't know. I don't know how to feel to be a role model, you know. I'm just really glad that the success came now at this time of my life and not earlier, because I know who I am and I can say no to things, you know. It's one of my superpowers. So I'm still working that out. I'm still trying to figure out my role within this industry. Yeah, I just keep creating music. And
I also might add, you know, the title role model is kind of given to you. It's not like you go on stage and be like, yeah, I'm the role model. You know, it is something they give to you. And I think as long as you live out your passion, you could inspire somebody. But role model is kind of a very, very hard job to do long term for the rest of your lives, because we are just human beings and we mess up and we might not have the same opinion. And yeah, so.
Okay. Guys and girls and everyone in between, I think that's about it. And now let's give it up one more time. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Dankeschön.
Sam Denniston, Priya Ragu, and Japhna Gold. And thank you for all your questions. Have a good day.